Let me get the Discord. Post it in Discord at least. And I don't know what I'm looking for. Hopefully it's A grain. We can go look at the teams, I'm guessing. I don't think Major Byte. Let's see if Major Byte gave us a friendly somewhere. I'm guessing not. So if I'm not on the board, I won't be able to find the league, probably. So we're just gonna have to look at the teams after we get in the game. I think it's just one word, but I can check that. EV2 leak. Yeah, that should find it once it's up. So we wait, and I am waiting in probably one of the hottest days I've ever had in San Francisco. It's 97. With no air conditioning. Wonderful. Yeah, the game hasn't started yet to my knowledge. Oh, well, that's up to Major Byte. Because I am not on the board for that competition. Yeah, and you guys might be hearing some outside noise, but that's just because I have the windows open because I am not going to roast in my own apartment room. And it's just usual San Francisco sirens and whatever. I can have a co-caster. I just need to drop into Discord. I guess I can do. If there's anyone that wants to co-cast, I'll go into REL active games. The competition needs to be started by the person where it was created. So I don't know where that is. Major Byte said he created it, but I don't know where he did. I can look. I don't think he created it in REL. Yeah, it's not here. It could be in ReBBL playoffs, maybe. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Hello. There we go. Started. I need to make sure. Okay, this is a knockout. Okay, so Major Byte did get it right. There we go. So they should be starting in a few minutes.
Alright. Let me know if I start echoing through my mic somehow, and I'll mess with sound settings. I haven't got everything down yet.
Sure. And we might could, let's see if I can pull up the bracket in the meantime. I'm gonna need to add a new scene here though. And we're gonna need to add a new capture for monitor. Display capture. Sure. I don't know which one it is, so we're gonna guess this one. Okay, I think it is that one. Or not. Whatever. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I can bring up the bracket right now. Come on. So we're going to be deciding this particular space, who's going to be facing the Undeady Bears, which is the G-Man Div 3 first, Undead. High Powered. The teams that we are going to be facing, I could bring them up in the DB2 Manager, but I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of time to discuss them. You've got the Olive Garden and the ReBBL Rousers. So let's look at the Olive Garden, which is the Orc team. And we talked about this in the playoff preview. You've got 2+ agility blitzers, large plus movement blitzers, so a fairly agile team. The odd thing is the pass block on the lineman. That was certainly a very odd pick. And then going to the humans, you've got more plus agility, except this time it's on a blitzer. Again, it's a human blitzer. Ogre with guard, a bunch of blodge. Got 2 blodgers, 2 guard, not a whole lot of mighty blow, strong arm thrower, and a plus movement catcher, which is going to be great for if you need to do a desperation 1 turn 2 DP and a guard lineman along with the kick too. So let's see if the game has started.
I believe it should be showing up any second now.
Alright. Yep, it's up. So I'm gonna tap into that. Let's go into the game capture. At least Blood Bowl 2 is borderless full screen, so you could just do a display. Pretty good elf team, says Spoony Bard. Yeah, they're both a little bit elfy. So it's kind of weird.
Are we skipping animations or what? Just so I can stay relatively in sync.
I have
with you?
animations on armor. I'm not going to be skipping anything.
Alright.
So. Obviously, we skipped to the very beginning, so yeah. I don't think there's... we don't need to worry about, like, in terms of a replay about getting that far ahead. Because we're watching it live. It would be a bigger deal if it wasn't live.
Yeah. Just from player pauses, we'll sync sort of back up.
So it looks like the orcs are receiving. There was a wizard picked up by the ReBBL Rousers, and Olive Garden picked up a bribe. Let me see in the Discord if there are any other inducements.
They did not mention any. Just a bribe and a wizard.
Yeah, that's what we see.
So, looking at it, with the guard from the human team, they're not in all that much of a strength disadvantage.
Yes, they do have a fairly comparable amount of guard. This orc team is also a bit agile, so I think we may see the armor play a role in this matchup, especially if it goes to overtime. The orcs are far less likely to remove players, and they've got the bribe on their side. So, with the DP, they could try to press the issue on getting those removals.
The pass block dirty player is interesting.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to do anything. Well, the dirty player might... Oh, and another bribe. Okay. Well, now the orcs can pretty much foul with impunity for a while.
The bribe for the humans is pretty big, though.
Yeah, it would be better if it was on the humans' offensive drive, though. What I
Yeah.
find better... What I find the bribe is most useful if you are receiving first, just because that allows you to set up for the fouls, and it prevents your opponent from really trying to defend against them. At least you have to expose some players on the line, so then you can go for attrition fouls on the line. But if you're defending, you don't really have luxury. Let's turn on skills. There we go. We got a stunned DP lineman and just a knockdown. Looks like he's going to blitz the Garter, which is probably the more valuable player.
Yeah, with all the options, you're not really worried about the strong arm thrower just throwing across the entire field. And the humans, I don't feel like they have what they need to leverage a short kick, really.
Yeah, you're not going to want to really kick short against orcs in most situations unless you're looking to recover the ball. I mean, with the wizard, maybe it's possible, but you have plus agility blitzers who are fairly adept at picking the ball.
Both these teams are looking to be in really good shape for next season, though. Depending on what happens to the team in playoffs.
Yeah. At least they don't have to worry about facing a chaos team early, like Huds Lizards against Necromantic or Berserkers against the Sage. Opts for the Black Orc hit to get the block, and he's going to put the chain push, use the chain push to get the Ogre in a better position to foul. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice 5-assist foul.
Especially with 2 bribes.
And that is a removal. Thick Skull's not saving him this time.
That's a pretty big one.
Yeah. DP made the difference. It would have been a stun otherwise.
It's one of those you probably shouldn't have put him on the line, but at the same time, what player do you actually want on the line?
Yeah, this human team does not have a lot of linemen. It has let's see, how many catchers? 1, 2, all blitzers, 2 catchers, a thrower, and then you've got a guard lineman and a kick lineman. Of course, you're going to want the kick off the line. You don't really have a lot of options to put on the line, and the Ogre does have AV9, so a lot of human teams put him on the line. So losing him this early is going to be going to make it very hard to actually defend against the orc grind here.
There's also no riot or pitch invasions as well, I just noticed. So that's going to be something to think about going into the next drive, is you can't rely on...
Yeah, you have the security gate, so you're not going to get the... you're going to either have to go for the 1 turn. You can't rely on a riot to give you a 2-turn attempt if the orc does stall to turn 8.
Opting not to blitz with the Mighty Blow is interesting. The same thing, only you would have to GFI to move backwards 1.
Yeah.
Not
and
that
you'd be safe because the guard's there, so you don't need to really worry about him getting blitzed. Yep, so it looks like he's just going to start going for a screen. Ultimately,
really his only option right now.
Yeah, he's ultimately going to have to decide when he's going to want to use that wizard. Right now, it's not a great opportunity because he doesn't have a great retrieval option in the backfield.
I imagine it'll happen in, 2-3 turns once the orcs get really stuck in. Like, maybe he ends up basing with the plus movement blitzer or something.
Well, Kakengrad would probably be the best retrieval because he's the blodge plus agility blitzer. You got catchers with their movement, but you need the ball relatively free for them to get in there and be able to pick it up without rolling really high dice.
Now, when I'm playing a match like this, I like to have a sort of list of players I want to remove and try to get rid of them in my drive.
From the orc perspective, I assume you're talking
Yes.
about, right?
Yes. In your case, would you be going for some of this guard, this ridiculous blodge agi blitzer, or
The
maybe
blodge
thrower?
edgy blitzer, right now you can't really get to him because you've got the guard there. I mean, ultimately, yeah, I think that player is going to be very big in this matchup, especially with the wizard. You could go for the thrower, but that's really going to only have an impact on his offensive drive, and it's not like he doesn't have players that can pick up or hold the ball other than the thrower. Because the plus agi blitzer is basically the same thing, except he doesn't have sure hands and pass, and he picks up better. But the throw is actually slightly better for the plus agi. I'm not a lot of people like strong arm doubles. I'm not a fan of it personally because accurate is a better skill in every way. But when you get strong arm, you have to get accurate. Otherwise, there was no point to getting strong arm.
Yeah, it's just the way the two skills combine.
Yeah.
Now, I imagine we'll end up just seeing a foul on the dirty player piece just to try to leverage this bribe.
I guess, yeah, if he can get more assists on the DP. If you're going for attrition, that's what you'd go for. Though the thrower is down, you get a 1 assist foul. I guess you can get a 2 assist foul if you had marked the blitzer before, but then again...
Cage becomes a bit awkward, though.
I mean, you would have used, like, your blitzer, and then you could have moved the blackworks. You could have done it. And he's setting up to prevent a big fireball. He's doing the thin cage. Maybe it's a little bit on the thin side.
Yeah, you could see, like, a lightning bolt on Ravioli here, and then bring this guard blitzer in, and that's fairly easy to die.
Yeah, the only thing is Kakengrad's really far away, and there's a lot of orcs in position.
There's no good retrieval at the moment.
If he's a bit closer, the lightning bolt's a lot more tempting. The catcher also back here because he has a lot of movement.
That being said, he is committing a lot of these black orcs to the middle of the field, making his making the left side from the orcs' perspective a bit weaker. You could see a lightning bolt on the plus agi guy to do a similar thing and try to pick up with one of the agi 3 people if you're lucky.
Yep. And now the left side is a lot clearer, so Kakengrad might actually have a fairly clean run to the ball. Would probably have to do some GFIs to get there. Yeah. I think that was 3 assist foul? No, that was the 2 assist foul. He was fouling the thrower.
Yeah. The orc player has fallen into a bit of a trap with just sort of getting his black orc stuck, as it were.
Yeah, well, at least from my knowledge of playing a slow team, what you want to do is your blitzers are very, very mobile. They can run really fast compared to the rest of the team. But you're going to want to get those black orcs up the pitch gradually. If you can't rely on the last couple of turns to get those black orcs up the pitch because they're not going to be able to move that fast.
Right.
I mean, they're pretty tied up. If they get knocked down, they're going to be stuck for a while. I don't know why skills... Okay, the skills are showing now. Okay, there's guard here, so this is, Cannoli can get hit.
He's definitely considering the wizard.
And he opted not to do it.
Thought about it for a while, though.
It might be a better opportunity. He hasn't lost a lot. He didn't lose anything that particular turn.
I guess he figures that with all the black orcs tied up, he can just stand people up and then just sort of swamp the cage.
You can try that. I don't know if I'd do it this early in the turn. Especially with the mobile orcs, too.
Yeah. Not sure that's particularly a good idea.
If it was at the end and it was like turn 7 or 8 or whatever, and he needed to either get into scoring position or score, that's a pretty legitimate strategy. It looks like he's trying to take out the Mighty Blow tackle. It's a pile.
Which is fair.
Yep, but armor 9 holds strong.
Like you said, he didn't really lose anything. The only problem being now all these players in the middle are definitely getting knocked down. Just because of the relative strength disadvantage. So I imagine we'll just see a bunch of blocks in the middle and then the orc advance up his right field.
And you can free up the catcher if he puts an assist on the black orc, or you could put 2 assists, move both blitzers, and then you can block with your catcher and 2-die the black orc, chain push the lineman down, and free up the guard lineman if you do knock down Cannoli. Because he's going to want to try to reduce the amount of hits he's going to take.
Because right now
it looks like that's what he might be going for if he puts that assist there. Well, I guess he can still do, he can still do the guard block, and then chain push him down. He re-rolled that, okay, and punished for pushes.
Wanted to free up his thrower so he has the passing option later on in the game.
Yeah, but he could have freed up his catcher. Oh yeah, you're right. He had to knock him down to free up the thrower, but I don't know if you'd re-roll that block. You'd probably just do the dodge afterward.
Yeah.
And what I would do is I'd push the black orc down to free up the catcher, and then you can decide where this catcher goes. But now, got a lot of players tied up in the middle that are going to get hit.
That's also a pretty decent foul on the guard piece if he wants it.
Yep, the guard piece or the thrower. Take your pick. No problem, Iron Adept. I was thinking of maybe going out, getting something, but I'll just do that later in the day. Wasn't that time sensitive.
Yeah, who needs to do things? There's Blood Bowl going on. Could push the troll up, get another Mighty Blow hit.
Yeah, it's certainly been very busy these past few days. He pushes up the troll so he can get hits on both of them now.
Now, would you foul the thrower or this dirty player piece? Because with that,
you mean the guard or the guard or that player, or there's three players you can foul right now.
Yeah, I just don't feel like the guard piece has enough.
Then foul the thrower.
It's just I'm looking at this bribe and thinking that's probably his only realistic.
He still has a blitz, though. He needs to be very cautious. He's moving closer to the plus agility blitzer. He needs to make sure that that ball is safe now.
But yeah, I'm just sort of looking at the state of the field and thinking, I'm armor 9. I'm kind of playing the attrition game here. I kind of want to remove this dirty player piece because it's the most realistic way he has to
get removals.
Rid of my players, even if he does have 2.
Yeah, he does have 2. I mean, for this half, I don't think the dirty player on the human side is going to make any difference, because I'm pretty sure he's just going to be tied up for a lot of this game unless Dr. JBP can actually free him up. But right now, that's not looking to happen. And that gets 2 assists on the thrower, because he knocked down that blitzer there.
Looks like he probably wants to go for the thrower then, due to the troll follow-up.
Yeah, I imagine.
I feel like I would move this black orc up a square and to the right, just to sort of get him someplace where he might be more useful.
Yeah, the only thing is that this cage back here is very thin, and there's a lot of players
Yeah.
that can move around this opposite. He looks like he's gonna blitz the kicker here, but yeah, there's 2 blitzers that can move here. Catcher is also unmarked, and the plus agility blitzer as well.
I feel like I would just end up moving this blitzer back next to the ball. Because like you said, this is a very thin cage.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't really stop the hit because of guard, but at the same time, I would like to have another player to just mark stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty thin. Because if the lightning bolt depends where the ball's gonna bounce. You'd probably want it to bounce either left or right. You don't want it to bounce up, probably not down. It looks like 1 bribe is gonna be used immediately here. Just gets a stun, but that's fine. We'll see if the lightning bolt comes out here. This is a pretty good opportunity in my opinion. Just the black orc here kind of screens off these blitzers a little bit.
Now the question is, do you lightning bolt the nickeled plus agi blitzer who has the ball? Or do
Yeah,
you
I think you
lightning
do
bolt-
that, because then otherwise you need to rely on a knockdown. Because if you don't get the knockdown, then why did you do the lightning bolt on the non-ball carrier?
To be fair, he does have a reroll. I'm just considering...
Yeah, but then you need to pick up the ball too. There's a lot of dice. This is my opinion. I would lightning bolt the carrier.
Depending on what happens with his armor across the next few turns, just
So
knocking
here comes the
down the
lightning
ball
bolt.
is sufficient.
And
That's pretty big.
the plus edgy blitzer goes down. Miss next game. Purely for this game, you're not going to have that in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
APOing this is somewhat risky because there's only a 50% chance he comes back, and he's coming back. Not a great bounce, but you could make it work, especially with the guard lineman here. You could try a couple 1 dice. So like this DP lineman could try to get a 1 die here. You can either try to push it on the ball again. I don't know if I would take that risk.
You can mark the lineman with this catcher and then dodge. 1, 2, 3. It would take a dodge and a GFI to get a 2 die on the black orc. Not sure if that's worth it.
Let's see what he's gonna do. It looks like he's opting to do the blitz with the blitzer on the lineman first.
He could just go for the 3+ pickup.
Well, once something gets moved out of the way.
Yeah. I feel like this blitz on the lineman is what you have to do to pick up regardless.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like I would make these 2 blitzers off to the side relevant in some way before doing anything, though.
You could have 1 start running down. The thing is, you can't just pick up and run down to the left because there is that tackle blitzer mozzarella. You might want to bring the ball back up. And if that's the case, then you bring the Lich That Lies and Kamikaze, and you probably screen off the plus agility blitzer.
So GFI to mark the tackle blitzer if you wanted to, but I don't see just running down the field being safe. Looks like he's just going to go for...
Oh, and a double skull is not what you want to see here.
Looks like he's just going to go for either the 3+ pickup or just swamping the
He's
ball.
going to go for the 3+ pickup. You could put him onto the ball, but there are very few bounces that are beneficial. There's only 1 bounce that would really, really help him, and the rest of them are either worse or about the same. Did the right move not putting him onto the ball.
I kind of feel like I'd be tempted to just put him, if I'm not picking up the ball.
And that's not a pickup.
are worse scatters. I'd be tempted to put him right in front of the plus Agi Blitzer, and then bring this Mighty Blow Tackle Blitzer around, a single GFI to mark the Orc Mighty Blow Tackle Blitzer. And then, realistically, all of his good retrieval options are tied up. And then you have options for next turn.
It looks like he's going to be able to free up that ball pretty easily.
Yeah.
And just needs to do a plus agility pickup. Yeah, that wizard was not taken advantage of there. And
So in the
Kakengrad is
end,
on the ground,
wizard-
and that's going to be the foul target, I feel.
Probably. Wizard exchanged for the Apothecary and a turn.
The problem is the Orcs still have a lot of time before they need to score.
Yeah. These two blitzers, human blitzers on the right here are sort of doing nothing, but at least they have the movement to make themselves relevant. I feel like I would pick up and then just park right next to Kakengrad and the guard blitzer. And I would feel relatively safe.
Yeah, you'd have to half die you or dodge out.
And that, at the same time, gives you an extra assist on the
Oh,
foul.
he's going for the foul right now. Dirty player allows for the armor break, which gives him a KO.
And without any babes, that's two pretty huge KOs.
So, not looking good for the humans on the defensive drive. Don't think they have. I'm trying to remember who had the plus movement. I thought they had a plus movement catcher, but maybe I was just imagining.
He's sitting on the sideline. He was out for this drive.
Okay, so yeah, I imagine. Yeah,
him.
he's for the one turn. That's going to be coming up if the Orcs do score on turn 8.
We might just see the Lich That Lies run back into the backfield to make himself relevant for the coming turns, and then just see Kamikaze here just blitz this plus movement Orc Blitzer and see what happens. Because I don't realistically see the human disengaging here.
Plus, yeah, hitting the plus movement Orc might be not a bad idea. Because it isolates the troll. It isolates the troll.
Yeah.
Good.
First thing I would do is make this kick lineman relevant somehow. At least move him just to where Agrane feels like he has to mark him. And that's one less player you have to worry about. So, with the bribe, hit the plus movement blitzer, and then you probably don't follow up, and then just sort of run back, and then just throw a why not foul to see what if something happens, for just because you have a bribe, and that's...
It'd be a no assist foul. It'd actually be a -1 on armor 9. You'd have to dodge out to just take away that lineman negative assist for that foul.
I mean, it's the same as if you're hitting an orc, and you're not going to realistically one die without block here.
He doesn't knock him down. He'll get another hit. There's no way you re-roll this. Bulls, I'm pretty sure can get a 2-die hit on him. It'll also free up the DP from lasagna.
Yeah. Has to be careful not to push him onto the troll, though.
Yeah. He just wants to push him directly up.
Unfortunately, doesn't down him, but it does sort of... He did manage to isolate the troll, I suppose.
Yeah, and now he has to put someone next to the troll in order to fairly reliably do anything with it. So he's gonna kind of want. He's
Rigatoni the second.
Yeah, he's gonna want to go in that direction anyway.
It's not a difficult thing to be able to bring your troll back in. I imagine for the most part we'll just see the orc player continue moving up the left side, you know, another 3 or 4 squares, and then just take a bunch of hits.
Yep, get those black orcs up the field. 2 on the LOS are probably not where you want them.
He's probably just deciding how he wants to allocate his bullets.
I think you'd push him up in this scenario. I know he pushes him to the side.
He wants to hit with Ravioli on this guard blitzer to activate the troll.
Fair enough.
Gets an injury.
No long-term effect. Still has the APO, so he could use it here.
I don't know if you do, though. Opts not to. That's a big piece removed, though. I imagine we'll just see a blitz on the guard lineman, move the cage up, hit the dirty player with lasagna.
Yeah, but who's going to do the blitz on the guard lineman, though? I guess you'd have to do the lineman block first, just for even Nachi to get the hit. Otherwise, you're going to be doing GFIs to get that blitz.
That's true. Perhaps move Rigatoni to the left of the downed catcher, and that way, if for whatever reason the block fails, you gain ops for this move though.
He's going to just blitz the DP. Imagine you could try to get one more assist on the thrower to get that 3-die block. I don't know if it's going to be with this black orc.
Okay, so he's just going to cage in the middle of the field then, and okay, maybe not. I don't know what he's doing now.
I don't know if I would have taken a step. He's maybe trying to trap these players. Not moving up though. Doesn't have a whole lot of time left. And the humans still have a decent number of players, so they're only down 3 at this point.
I feel like if he moves up to foul, his cage on, even if it is made of black orcs, is kind of weak.
Yeah, we're gonna probably see a mark on the ball here. No armor break on the foul.
But yeah, I just feel like after the blitz he chose, I would have just caged in the middle here and put a bunch of marks and guard everywhere. Because that way, I'm at least, fairly close to the end zone.
Yeah, he's
And don't
not
need
moving
much
his
more.
Black Orcs up that fast. Only one has made a decent progress up the field. The rest are all very close to the line of scrimmage.
There's not very many good options for Dr. J here. He could hit this, he could hit his opponent's kill piece. Kind of feel like that's something I would do.
Then you could
And
set up
then,
for a 2-die on the Black Orc there.
yeah. And then that also gives you a foul on the kill piece. Or the Black Orc.
And you do have DP. It's finally available. So, I'm not going to have a whole lot of assists on it, but...
Alternatively, he could attempt to hit on the plus movement blitzer to isolate the troll again. And force him to go, okay, I have to move. I have to waste the player's action just to activate the troll.
Rolls the POW, so that blitzer's going down.
Is a GFI to hit with dirty player now?
Yep.
Because of where he pushed.
Yeah, I imagine you'd still want to at least free up so you get at least 2 assists. So you'd probably want to do a 2-die on Cannoli here.
GFI with a kick piece to make that a 2-die. So he would probably have to bring
the only thing
that lies over.
Yeah, I just don't like the fact that there's going to be a lot of humans concentrated in this area if he's going to try to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you makes you question because you don't need to go for removals here. You just need to prevent the score. And if I'll put all your players over there, so you have to move probably this blitzer to get the assist, to get the hit on the Black Orc, and then you move the DP. That leaves only your kicker and your thrower over towards the right.
In which case, we could just see Agrain hand off to Ravioli, the plus movement blitzer, and park in this corner, and he'll be essentially 3.
Yeah, though okay, so he opts to do the GFI with the lineman rather than use his blodge guard.
I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Doesn't want the blodge guy in any significant danger, also leaves him the ability to get anywhere with him.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do the foul with the DP, you probably want to move the Lich That Lies over towards the right a bit.
Just 2 or 3 squares.
Yeah, it looks like, in fact, he's moving him farther back. Well, not entirely. That for a safety threat, though I don't imagine being the orcs are going to do any sort of ball movement. Oh, this is a failed GFI. I imagine we're not going to see a reroll here. It's just going to let it lie.
I don't think he can.
Well, he's saving it for the 1 turn. It's pretty apparent. You've got 6 players in a very small area, and then just 2 over here, and maybe soon to be 1 over on the right. Yeah, but moving up the right is going to be pretty easy now.
I almost feel like I would have rather seen a 3-die from the troll, and then
I wouldn't do it to start, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to decide ordering. Like, move the cage, stood up the Mighty Blow, tackle Blitzer off to the side here, just so he's there and forcing a hit. And Fruit with the Troll, and then move up to hit the Lich that lies, perhaps?
Yeah, the Lich that lies is a blodger, so not great odds in getting that POW on a 2-die.
Looks like the Troll is going to be a cage corner.
That's fine since it's moved already. Interesting that he goes for a thin cage setup, even though the wizards are no longer in play.
I imagine it's just because he didn't want to GFI with the Black Orc when he didn't have to. Like,
I mean, but what about like the Blitzer? So you have, oh no, that one he did a follow there, yeah. The Troll didn't need to move so far up. I guess it's fine.
Yeah, with the majority of the human players tied up, I think it's fine, especially because he can actually activate his Mighty Blow Blitzer and hit the other guys, opting to hit the dirty player piece. Rerolls it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's 3 re-rolls in 3 turns. It's not entirely surprising. He's already done pretty much everything that he's wanted, except move this lineman lasagna in the back, and then do the foul.
I suppose going for the dirty player piece also means he's less likely to get knocked down and then gang fouled. Opting for a foul just because he has a bribe.
Yep, gonna be a 2-assist foul on Squiggy the Thrower. And DP, yet again, does something 3rd time already?
I believe so. That's the 3rd KO, all of which are on fairly important pieces.
That skill is definitely doing work in this game.
So without the Babe picked up, we might see some of these KOs not come back, and that could potentially be huge.
No, that could be an issue.
Because we are seeing both the ball carriers out, which means he has to commit the Lich that lies as his ball carrier and leaving him with only 1 guard, assuming the Ogre doesn't come back.
Oh, that double skull. You probably, if you are committed to this 1 turn, you just take it.
I don't see a way that he stops the Orc drive at this point. Not down 4 players. 5 players.
Could have moved his DP before he had done that block, but you don't really predict dub skulls to happen on your first turn action that often.
You probably wanted to use the dirty player. I imagine it would have been something like knock down the Black Orc, stand up the catcher, use the guard to down the Blitzer, blitz with your DP you're not fouling with on this lineman, and then take your pick of who you want to attempt to remove. Because, to be honest, I don't see him stopping this drive at all anymore.
Well, I mean, he's completely out of position, so that's a pretty fair assessment.
Blitzing before moving the cage after seeing a disastrous double skull. I would have liked to see the ball in the cage move and then the blitz
could have
happen.
moved the ball up first, but I mean, he's still in scoring position. It's not a huge deal. You would have to do a GFI to get into scoring position, but
it's more the entire side of the cage is open if the worst happens. But barring this blitzer doing ridiculous dodges on a red die, I don't see this score being contested. So a fairly decent half for the Olive Garden.
Yep, they're just gonna have to defend against the 1-turn.
Permanently removing one of the guard pieces is fairly useful, to say the least.
Oh,
Gets the other one as well.
yep. Badly hurt on the guard lineman Ornan. And he's not coming back. I don't know. You have to probably be thinking, when should you use the APO? Maybe you should have used it on one of them.
I think he was considering it on the KO'd Mighty Blow Blitzer last turn, actually.
I don't know about using it there, though, because you have a 25% chance that he doesn't come back.
Got another KO.
On high-low, thanks to a foul that was not procced by DP this time.
So, fairly successful drive for the Orcs. He's permanently removed 2 guard and then KO'd a crap ton of players. 2 chances for them to come back, but at the same time, no Babe. We're probably looking at, what, 3, 4 players?
On average, he opts to go for the 6+ half die, gets the push, which is actually pretty useful because it forces the blitzer to actually roll dice to get in the end zone. There is a chance now that...
He's really tempted to
Oh
re-roll
no,
this.
you don't re-roll that. You'd need to double POW. The push is perfectly fine. Because now he's 7 squares away. Oh no, he's still 6 squares away, never mind. Miscounted.
This blitzer is not going to have a fun next turn, though.
I imagine you follow. At least force some 3 dice. That's not going to get re-rolled. And that's not... Yeah, the MNG here means the only 50% chance to get him back.
It's not looking good for the human team.
Yep, but a 1-turn can change a lot of things. Yeah, and that is just going to be a score. It's the POW on the Blodger pretty easily with the 3 dice. Not risking anything. Goes in the end zone and takes the lead 1-0.
Nothing wrong with that. Even if I feel like he probably could have gotten a 3 dice on Dirty Player with the Mighty Blow. And I feel like I'd have been tempted to go for that, for a 3 dice with a reroll and Mighty Blow, just because you're up so many players.
Let's see if any of the KOs come back. 3 of them. Not the Ogre, though you don't really need the Ogre just yet.
You've already fairly sufficiently lost the Bash game.
I think that was kind of expected, though.
Yeah.
Generally in a human-orc matchup, the armor just makes a huge... The armor and strength usually just makes a very large difference.
Yeah. Losing the, all the guard pieces, though, was kind of rough.
Yeah, he's only got 1 guard now. So doing this 1-turn is actually going to be fairly difficult. It would have been a lot easier had he more guard.
Interestingly, Chicken Parm has leveled up off of that touchdown.
Yeah, but he's not going to be getting that level up.
Oh, yes, you're correct.
So any SPP in this game is not going to have any impact, same with injuries.
I imagine that this Orc team is going to be fairly strong next season, assuming it doesn't implode in its next game, which is presumably the playoffs.
Well, if they win, yeah.
If they win, but 7 players, it's looking kind of rough for the human team.
So he's going to opt, rather than prevent the chain pushes up front, he's going to go for the screen. Usually I'm very, very critical, and this is not set up right already from the get-go. Yeah, let's see if he fixes it. It also makes the one turn a lot easier. Because if he had set up in the front, it would have been very hard to get a 2-die on this Black Orc. Yeah, and now if you're the human player, all you need to do is just go around either this Black Orc, or either Black Orc on either side, and those are 4+ dodges, rather than what they could have been 5+s if you had placed them along the sideline. So, has a good chance, though I don't really like where Zwark is placed right now. Does not make any sense if he's trying to do a 1-turn up in the center. Wants to either be... I imagine you're going to be blitzing... I guess you can blitz the lineman rather than the Black Orc. That would be a lot easier to hit. Come in from the back. Put the catcher to the left of the Black Orc. You blitz
It
the line.
looks like he's going to be pushing his player backwards, no matter what he does.
Well, if he does the chain push on the Black Orc, he'll push the catcher, but he'll only push the catcher to the side. If he wanted to do it that way, he should push the catcher in front of the troll so that he can push him up.
Regardless, without much guard, it's going to be a difficult attempt.
I don't see why it would be that hard. Because rather than have like why do you have the thrower in the back? Have the thrower retrieve the ball, because he's got pass and strong arm. Otherwise, you're going to have to pass with Kakengrad, and you may not want to do that. Yeah, I am not very confident in this 1-turn setup here.
Especially because he's only getting a 1-die.
Currently, he's getting a 1-die. Yeah, he could easily position a bit better.
Unless for some reason he goes for the lineman, which is still a 1-die because of guard.
Yeah, it is a 1-die. Yeah, what he needs to do is, rather than have the thrower back there, he needs to put the thrower back. Yes,
I mean, this is kind of what the thrower is.
You're blitzing here. Okay, so he does that. There's going to be a critical issue here now. The catcher's not in a good spot. He needs to be 1 to the right. Hopefully he sees that. Okay, so he does put... I almost have a feeling like I'm being listened to. But, I'm probably... This is just not... Yeah, there's a better way to do this.
Which, to be fair, 1-turning... That's not exactly something a lot of coaches are used to doing. I don't know about you, I suppose it was significantly easier for you to learn it since you're a Skaven coach.
Well, it's easy to do it with Movement 9. I guess more recently in my Blood Bowl career, I'm a Skaven coach, because I didn't play Skaven until I joined this league, so... I had done mostly elves, and I was fairly confident in my Movement 8 1-turns, so just doing Movement 9 is much easier. Sometimes opponents set up for it that's difficult, but you can generally work around it with some careful positioning and planning around the quick snap.
Which is something you don't see a lot of coaches do.
Yeah, he's going to run out of time, it looks like.
Yeah.
And this probably won't work.
You often see coaches, they'll go, "Oh, a quick snap," and then
and you're right. In this situation, he can't even take advantage of it. Gets a reroll, so
not particularly helpful.
It's not helpful, but you could have burned one earlier, though you would never know if you'd win it here, especially since he does have the +1 fame, that's why he got it. But too bad you can't tell your fame roll from here until Legendary Edition comes out. Hey, Cthulhu Collector, thanks for the bit. Just one bit, but thanks. I think that's the first donation I've ever gotten.
So from this position, he needs 2 blocks, I believe.
He's gonna need 3. This is gonna be the 1 die here. He needs a push. Obviously, you re-roll that, and that's the end.
Yep.
Yeah, I could have. So what he could have done is, obviously the catcher needs to be 1 to the right. You don't need the DP standing there. The DP can be fine over to the left and providing assist against the Black Orc. And then when you come in the blitz, it's a 2-die blitz, though granted you aren't pushing the catcher, though in this case you're not pushing the catcher in any meaningful direction. Who gets an armor break on the Black Orc, but only a stun. So we could be seeing a 2-assist foul at this rate. Could see the catcher try to dodge out, though 3+ dodges have a decent chance of failing. Thanks again for the 4 bits, Cthulhu Collector. And so he does do the dodge. That's a 3-assist foul.
Apo used, this is potentially a huge removal.
Yep, since the Apo is used. And he does have a bribe. Doesn't even break armor.
Do you see a 1-die? I don't think you 1-die here.
No.
I don't think it's worth it.
It's armor 9 versus armor 8. Might as well go for the vanity pass here on plus agility. It'll be a 3+ throw. Because it's a short pass with strong arm. And he gets it.
Not that the pass aspect even matters, but
yeah, that is true. Just for flair.
he's considering the 1-die, apparently.
Opts not to do it, and I saw a brief glimpse of a KO not waking up. Roll the 1. I'm just gonna wait.
Would be the ogre. I have less animations on, I believe.
Fair enough.
So
yeah,
6,
it's the
8
ogre.
players.
Yeah, that's not good. Ogre, well,
8 players, 1 piece of guard. It's not impossible, but again, no riot, no pitch invasion. As an orc player in this position, the thing I'm most scared of is a pitch invasion.
does have the fame, so that would likely be more beneficial to the Rousers than it would be to Olive Garden. Yeah, the human player is gonna have to probably roll some dice in order to get to the end zone here.
We have overtime set up, correct?
Yep, this was set as a knockout. I double checked when I started the competition.
So it's not impossible, just difficult and potentially unlikely.
Yeah, I think the fact that he didn't use his APO on any of those, like the block guard blitzer, probably was the best point to APO, at least from hindsight. Because right now, the APO is not going to do you any good unless you get to overtime. Or it's a KO and you can keep him stunned. Those are the only 2 cases here.
There's a part of me that would have been tempted, thinking back on it, to APO the KO'd ogre. Admittedly, there's no way you would know that he isn't going to come back, but...
Probably just get fouled next turn anyway. But he would be stunned. Yeah. And I
guess
think
that would sort of commit you into trying to rescue him.
I think the guard blitzer is a bit more valuable than the ogre. The ogre is mostly just a roadblock, not really something that you can reliably hit with. The guard is very nice and it's not very easy to hit. Good on offense. I mean, I imagine you don't... The likelihood of him failing both KO rolls is on the lower side.
Now, I imagine you don't want to score fast. You want to go for the overtime, even if the attrition game is definitely going against you. It doesn't feel like you're going to be able to turn him over in the 4 or 5 turns that you're going to give him if you score quickly.
Yeah, barring some very, very lucky kickoff event. What league is this playoffs for? This is for the ReBBL League. Actually, I have the information for that league in my description below. We're actually having signups for Season 7. So you are welcome to sign up for the new season. That's going to be starting sometime in probably September.
I believe the new season is set to be October 1st, is what I saw.
October 1st? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Late September, early October. Yeah, because it's September right now, not August. Yeah, I guess you could say it's ReBBL Majors. We just call it the ReBBL League. People refer to it as majors because they are in minors. Oh, so the quick snap is useful because he can base away from the line of scrimmage. Doesn't have to roll dice in order to move players into better positions. He's clearly lined up to run down the right side of the pitch, his left side of the pitch.
Looks like he's opting to use the kickoff to get a 3-hit on this black work.
Yep, and looks like he's going to take a hit on that lineman too. So I probably wouldn't... Let's see, this lineman's just a normal lineman. I don't know if you gain a lot from doing this block. I probably would have just ran away so that I could move these blitzers elsewhere rather than take this hit.
It's one of those things of you're down 3 players, you're kind of out of ways to protect every piece.
Yeah, so I'm just going to answer a question for C-Man here. This isn't about going to majors or minors. This is actually to decide who goes to the playoffs or not. Both of these teams were tied in their division, which is Division 6, for the last playoff spot left. And to decide it, the tiebreaker rules dictate that they have to do a friendly with knockouts. This won't really affect relegation. Likely these teams are going to be moving up because they're top of their divisions in the ReBBL League.
And they are very, very good teams. Right. You got a plus Agi Blodge blitzer. And as an orc coach, he is living the dream with 2 Agi 4 blitzers.
And that's where you want the plus Agi. You don't want it on your... Oh, it does pay off. So I immediately have to eat my words here. That removal is very nice if he's looking to stall out this half.
At this point, I mean, it's just on alignment, but at this point you take
It's a
whatever
numbers.
you can get.
Yeah, you take everything you can get.
So that makes it 8 versus 10. With a mighty blow hit and potentially a foul on this black work.
Yeah, and we're going to probably see a blitz on... Oh, I would not re-roll this because you get another block. You get a block with the DP. Sure, you're not going to get a foul with that DP, but you've got another DP that can block. So
I feel like I would get the ball now.
Yeah, right now the ball is pretty out in space. So what you probably do is you could either pick it up and then go back because you've got to throw a strong arm. And throwing long with this thrower is not as bad. It's just throwing a regular thrower. Maybe you put your catcher in front of the ball so that if it does fail, have maybe multiple tackle zones on it. Yeah, that's clearly what he's doing here. It's also screening off towards the right. So I guess the thrower is relatively safe if he moves to the right, and let's say the DP 1 in 81's the block against the Black Orc. Or 1 in 9's and not reroll.
Downs the Black Orc.
So pushes him that way. I imagine we see a fall and then a blitz on this Niggled Blitzer. Admittedly not with Mighty Blow.
Now the question becomes... Nah, I guess you just go for the Black Orc. You're not picky about who you potentially remove at this point.
If Armor 9 holds up, and it does.
At this point, he's just looking for numbers.
Yeah, you can get a 3 assist fall on the Black Orc, and that would almost even up the numbers. Be very, very good. Not going for the pickup first. I don't know about that.
He does have a bribe.
He does have a bribe, but it still can fail.
Pickup would have failed. So, correct play, I guess.
If you consider it that way. You don't know what you're going to roll, so...
Yeah.
So it looks like he's going to pick up and dodge back. Sure Hands does save him a reroll.
The problem with playing like this is it reduces you to 7 players on the pitch, essentially. Maybe 6 if you feel like you need to keep this catcher back to help out your thrower.
Yeah, but I think when you're down players, you gotta keep the ball safe, and I don't know if he can keep it safe and do damage at the same time with the thrower so close. If he was going to move him in that direction. The thing with fouling and getting all condensed like this is because it plays into the Orcs' hands, because the Orcs have all the strength. They've got this guard Black Orc who can come and base in, and that would be particularly bad, though I think you could still get a 2-die on Tortellini. Orcs have plenty of players that they can move to make those hits difficult.
I imagine we're going to see a blitz on the plus Agi Blitzer with the tackle piece. Because the Orc can afford to be particularly choosy about who he tries to hit. So, like, have Ravioli run back to be sort of in front of all the other players.
Yeah, he's going for the plus agility piece, which is certainly the most valuable player on the pitch at this point in time. And he is no longer on the pitch. There is an APO. He immediately uses it, but that's only going to bring him back for overtime, so he's still going to have to play without it.
I imagine we're just going to see him move up to threaten the thrower.
Yep.
We may just see Agrain feel like he has to score in the next 2-3 turns.
Congrats also in the chat, and also not very happy with the fact that he took a hit to the face.
I imagine we'll see Ravioli here just sort of come back to be in front of the humans. That way, if they do somehow manage to free themselves from this blob of orcs, they don't feel like they're safe just sitting here.
Though, I don't know if you've noticed, but the humans can actually score. Obviously, with those with those blitzers moving, it's going to be a little bit less likely that the Rousers are going to choose that path.
I think he can clear these 2 Black Orcs. It's going to take a bit of work.
A dice will need to be rolled.
The problem with this is the Orcs are very committed to the right side. So if we do see some way, if there is some way of freeing these humans and running to the left, that's going to buy them 2 or 3 turns.
Ilo is going to be the best chance for that. He can dodge away from this Black Orc and move pretty far left. You could give him the ball, though I don't imagine he'd be safe from Chicken Parm. But Chicken Parm would be the only one that could get over there. If you could somehow take down Chicken Parm, you would have a scoring threat and nothing in your way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could do 2 GFIs to go along the sideline and prevent a blitz with high-low. You ultimately have to decide whether you do the throw now if you're going that path, or you do the throw later. And then you'd have to fix this pile of players.
So, use the Lich That Lies to... No, because there's 2 guard there.
Yeah, you can't use the Lich That Lies to block, because he's only going to get half die on that Black Orc.
Maybe Grey Fox has to 1 die?
Yeah, if you want to try to do something like that, you have to roll some relatively risky dice. I wouldn't feel comfortable with rolling that dice with the thrower where he is now.
Yes. Options he can do with the thrower? He can just run back into his end zone.
Okay, so he's going to do a handoff to Hilo. It's going to be a 4+ handoff. And he gets it, rolls a 5. Now he's just going to need to do a 3+ dodge. There's really no great blitz options.
I imagine if you don't use the dodge on your first roll, you...
Dodge
yes,
again?
so
I don't know. I don't think I would do that. Because it's much better to do the... Well, no, I'd do the GFIs over the dodge. I'd do the GFIs over the dodge. And that's why.
Yeah, I imagine that's...
Because you're far more likely to fail a dodge than you are to fail a GFI. If you've ever done 3+ dodges, you know how often they fail, especially if you have dodge, how often that auto reroll just fails. If it was Agi 4, I would have probably done it. Well, I know I would have definitely done it if I hadn't dodged, but yeah, Agi 3, it was much safer to do the GFIs, even if you had to burn a reroll on one of the GFIs. And now I think that's going to make it very difficult for the Rousers to win the game.
You see the Orc coach taking some blocks before
Securing
consolidating
the ball.
on the ball?
Yeah, like these blitzers over to the right should probably start moving in that direction. It goes for the pickup initially, though I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I feel like I would have at least moved the pass block lineman up to mark the ball before doing anything. But I imagine that this is probably going to be game, barring some silly dice.
Yep, it's up to the humans to try to get that ball back, and without the wizard, it's going to be very difficult. Like, yep, the cage is pretty much formed, pretty safe.
Yeah, I don't think we can really fault the handoff to Hilo that play.
The handoff and the dodge, I don't know if you wanted to do the cut dodge, though. Because you have the reroll and the GFIs to get out of range. I'd probably have done that instead. Because there's no reason... Well, I wouldn't say there's no reason. You were looking to save rerolls with that move.
Yeah, especially with overtime on your brain.
Yeah, but failing failing there would be a lot worse than failing a GFI over on the left. If you fail a GFI over on the left, at least there's like only one orc that can get over there.
Imagine we're going to see another foul.
On the Blodge Garter. Yeah, I think they still have a bribe, so why not?
Especially considering there's no reason to feel bad about any damage you do, because it's not going to count.
Yeah, the damage that you do now is just to make it so you can secure your win. 2 assist foul on the Blodge Garter. And it kills the Lich That Lies. Not that it matters for this game, but Lich That Lies lies under the ground.
Now, that does remove all of the guard from the entire human team. So I'm not really seeing a way, barring silly cage dives.
Yeah, the numbers advantage is, shifted greatly towards the Orcs, especially since he lost this plus agility blitzer, even though he APO'd it. Obviously not coming back until the next drive, which of course there won't be one. If
Was just
there's
hoping
no
to get
score
him.
Yeah.
Was just hoping to get him back for just the numbers to try and hold him off in order to get to overtime and maybe do a silly plus agility play.
Opts do a thrower dodge. If you want any chance of winning this game, you're gonna have to not fail. Try to take initiative. That's a 1-die blitz right now. Catcher is strength 2. I don't know why you wouldn't do this. Goes for the half-die blitz in. Gets 1 defender stumbles, but that's not enough.
Almost.
On the 6+ dodge.
I feel like I probably would have taken the 2-die on this Black Orc just so I could move 2 players.
Yeah,
to
he
a
probably
more...
should have done that before he tried the dive. Not that the dive would have still worked, but then yeah, you can at least move your players up the pitch, because obviously this cage is just going to start moving up in that direction.
Do you see a foul on this catcher first?
You could.
I mean, the cage is fairly secure.
Yeah, you could.
Mighty Blow hit on this thrower by moving this Black Orc down, and just foul this catcher, since this catcher realistically is the only way he can try some of the silly dice to make you turn over.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to see this game slowly wrap up. So far, we haven't really had any exciting finishes in the postseason. Unlike, last season, there was some real bang-bang games at the very end that were just amazing. So far, this season has just been very one-sided in terms of playoff matches.
Clearly, all of the players who made it to playoffs are safe, boring coaches.
Yeah, no instances of overtime yet. It's somewhat disappointing, but if you've ever gone to overtime, it really extends the length of the game. And Blood Bowl was not, in my opinion, not meant to be played that long. Yep, going for a foul on the thrower this time.
Just sort of a, I have a bribe thing.
Might as well. Pretty much a removal of per turn for each foul. It has barely failed him.
Well, time to see a silly cage dive. Because realistically, that's the only thing that can turn this around.
Yep, pretty much. Gets a 2-die, frees up the plus movement catcher. BP still marked. Catcher can try some shenanigans. Again, another 6+ dodge. Right now it's not a half die. it'd be 3 uphill, because the black orc has guard. You can't just mark with high-low. You need to do something else. You need to mark Fettuccine Alfredo in order to make it a half die.
So what you're saying is he has to roll 4 6s in a row, at the very least.
Well, I mean, high-low could dodge up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be a 3+ dodge. And then you'd have to do a 6+ dodge, and then you'd have to roll 2 pows. And the other approach would be to put a mark on the orc blitzer, and then hope that either Agrain makes a mistake or rolls horrifically. But with the rerolls and the fact that that blitzer is plus agility. Okay, so he opts to dodge the DP. Might as well re-roll it, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to move. That orc cage will just move unimpeded, and all your players are going to be stuck back here. Alright, so now another 6+ attempt. Makes the 6+ dodge yet again, and 1 pow short.
Does allow him to push the blitzer back.
So far, 2 6+ dodges. Very fortunate on those cage dives, just not coming up with the down. So if it had been a 1 die on a 5+ dodge with the plus agility blitzer, maybe a knockdown would have occurred. Actually would have been a half die because of the guard there, but I think in the previous instance there was not guard. And does not follow with the plus movement catcher.
Yeah, at this point he's just throwing dice desperately to see if anything sticks. It's kind of all he really has option-wise, to be fair.
Yep. So, with this game wrapping up, there is another playoff game later today. I believe in about 4 hours? A little bit under 4 hours. We're going to have a playoff game between the Rebel Miners Boys in Blue and Kick's Ace Trucking Company. I think it's Truck. Is it Trucking or Truck Company? I don't remember, but Chaos.
I believe it's Trucking Company.
Yeah, so it is.
That's Chaos Dwarfs versus
Orc.
I'm not sure.
It's
Orcs.
Orc.
Okay.
Boys in Blues are Orc.
So another fairly bashy game coming up.
Yep. The Chorfs do have a claw palmer, so they certainly have better removal choices.
Is that the team with the prehensile tail?
Yes.
Dwarf.
Yes.
Interesting.
They have the prehensile tail dwarf blocker.
Looks like he's trying to... He was trying to free up the guard black orc just to make any potential dives much more difficult.
If you take the push, you can put guard on the lineman and hit it. That's what he does. That's probably the right move.
I'd have been tempted to take the both down so I could get another 2 die on this catcher, to be honest with you. Because these 2 catchers are the only way the silly dice can happen.
Yep. Though there is, I guess it depends whether this DP go down. There is a chance if he does not want to blitz with the catcher, he can blitz with the lineman, though it is a bit far now. Yeah, you probably still have to blitz with the catcher.
I mean, he's been making 6+ dodges this whole time.
Yeah. Eventually it's going to run out because the chances of 6+ dodge, even with the auto reroll, is still not great. So we're going to see some GFIs from the DP, and again, another half die blitz for one of the catchers. I don't think it's going to be this. Is it going to be this one? And this time he can use a reroll because he failed the first one. Needs a 6 here. Does not get it.
I swear, if he made another one.
Yeah, that would be pretty dang lucky. So Seaman TV, these typically take, if you're not counting the postseason, we have relatively relatively large divisions and long seasons. It's about 13 weeks. Yeah, Havoc is right. It's about 13 weeks. Definitely on the longer side. That's why you see the teams relatively beefy. These are teams that are both in their first season, so they've had plenty of time to develop and a decent shot at winning the playoffs because they have plenty of time to develop.
I imagine they're, what, 1,400, 1,500?
I think they're around 1,500, both of them.
Sounds about right from where...
Because you have the stats. The stats are going to really inflate the team value.
Oh, yeah. I'll be really interested to see, after the next game, what levels the Agi Blitzers get.
After the next game?
Yes, because they are, like, both a touchdown.
Oh yeah, you're right. So that's assuming yeah, in the playoffs. Whether it depends how well they do in the playoffs. Oh, that's the Black Orc slipping. Might as well.
Imagine he was just going to foul. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Black Orc, you can see the wonderful Black Orc animation file, which is very similar to just General Orcs. General Orc linemen.
So at this point, I'd say there's realistically no way the humans win. Like, they have a scoring for it if he stands him up.
The only chance would be, in this situation, you need Hilo to do it, because the DP can't even get that far. You need him to do a 3 uphill, pow him, push him to the sideline, and the throw in to be somewhere down the pitch so that Kamikaze could pick it up. It's in the realm of possibility.
But extremely unlikely.
Yes.
And it will be glorious if it happens.
And he's gonna go try. Should go from the top. Does not get the dodge as expected.
To be fair, that's kind of his only option that he's had.
Yeah, and with the score, the Orcs put this on ice, more or less. The only hope for the Rebel Rousers to somehow tie this would be to one turn, and then get a blitz on the subsequent kickoff. He could have waited. The Orcs could have waited a couple more turns to prevent that from happening.
There are no riots.
There are no riots, but you can still get a one turn and a blitz. Thor comes back, though not sure how much.
We're just gonna see him throw a goblin, just because.
Maybe. He put him on the pitch. I think it's because he has to field him, but yeah. Unfortunately, the plus movement catcher did not return to the pitch. That was probably his best chance for a one turn. Well, let me think. If he gets the one turn... Okay, yeah, never mind. He didn't have enough turns. I thought he had one more turn. No. Since this is the Rebel Rousers drive, and the fact that you can't get a riot, the game is over. Because even if you did score in one turn here, you wouldn't be able to place a player in scoring position for... Oh, no, wait. No. He still has time. Would have time. Because he scores and then it's turn 16. If he gets a blitz, he can place players into scoring position. I don't know what I'm thinking there. Goes for the 2-turn strategy. It's not gonna help you.
One turning is not exactly easy.
Yeah, especially with the number of players he has. And the fact that he doesn't have his plus movement catcher. You probably need a quick snap to even make it possible.
And probably a red die at some point.
Probably a couple. Because you just don't have any guard left, right?
No, anything, really. So I believe with that would be game over.
Yep. And that's it. I'm gonna update the bracket while this game's going on. Need to find the right page first. There we go.
For those of you that missed it, none of these injuries and this death actually matter. This will not be validated.
The Olive Garden are advancing to the playoffs to face the Undeady Bears, an undead team played by Powwood from G-Man Div 3.
I feel like I had the winner of this game beating the undead for some reason.
I basically said the human team's probably the better matchup for the Undeady Bears. They're probably less enthused that they're playing against the Orcs.
Yeah. I sort of imagined that the game would go somewhat like this. Between the Mighty Blow advantage, the guard advantage, and just the general armor advantage. Come on, throw the goblin. You know you want to. Throw the goblin.
Yep, so with this catcher stun, the only chance to save this from shutout is going to be Kakengrad. And honestly, if you're going to stop the score, you probably just want to put a line in front of him rather than... Because he can just do a 3+2+ dodge out of that, and he doesn't have to worry about tackle.
And
just throw the goblin.
Anything,
yeah, we should see the throw. Better. Yep, here comes the throw onto the ball carrier, I imagine. Okay, here it goes. Fails it, might as well reroll into the loner. Failure. But Spaghetti lands on his feet.
Disappointing, but not altogether unexpected. Goblin just sort of running in the mark because why not?
Just a taste of what you will experience when facing goblins.
Goblins are such a silly team. So imagine we'll just see a 3+2+.
Yep.
Just for the sake of pride at this point.
It's actually going to be a 4+ 4+ unless he does GFIs, I think. Let's see. Yeah, right now he needs to do GFI to make that a 3+. I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I don't have the passing table memorized. But right now it's a 4+ throw. Wait, whoa, what the?
Pass block.
Oh yeah, pass block! It's doing a thing!
Pass block did a thing!
And it got an interception! We totally forget about pass block.
Amazing.
It did something, guys! I totally forgot about it. I'm like, that's a useless skill. It's not gonna do anything. And it keeps the shutout alive.
Oh.
Oh! And it ends up, Cake and Grid ends up getting killed after having
Dr.
a
J
smash.
very happy that this is not going to be fair.
That is a rough turn of events.
Can't believe we finally saw pass block do a thing.
We had something, at least something that was worth watching in this game. If only that had happened like at a critical point in the game, then we would have all been like, whoa, maybe it is the new meta. Yeah, it was just a slow orc grind. And a lot of fouls. Well played by A-Grain, certainly.
Yep. Dr. J didn't play bad, he just sort of...
Yeah, the removals were bad, and he also got hit by a lot of poor block dice. And the troll gets a stomp.
I gotta admit, say what you will about Cyanide, but their animations are great.
Yeah, not that you generally follow with the troll ever, but they are animated.
Yeah.
And the game ends. None of the MVPs matter, though a Black Orc would have leveled up, and a DP would have leveled up. One probably better than the other. Got a casualty, and that was the lineman casualty that Kakengrad got, but too bad he would be dead. And then Squiggy got the pass. Pass. I think that was the Vanity Pass? Yes. But yeah. I might as well extend the invitation now to A-Grain. Let's see, where's REL 6? There's the friendly. I must have already passed it. There we go. And I want to invite A-Grain. Maybe I need to capitalize it. Oh, there we go. It is A-Grain's Olive Garden Advance. And received their ticket into the playoffs.
So do we want to take a look at Pawad's team real quick while we're here, or?
Sure, I can do that. I'll just have to go back. So, they will be facing the Undeady Bears. The TV, pretty much equivalent.
I imagine we'll see a fairly decent game out of this.
That's the Olive Garden. Oh, I backed out too much. Alright. And he accepted the ticket. Let's click the Undeady Bears Powad's team. It is a 3-ghoul undead team. You've got
missing a white, which kind of hurts.
You've got your guards stand for mummies. One with grab. Doesn't hurt. Yeah, he only has 1 white, which is a bit unfortunate. Does not have enough money to replace him, since whites cost about 90k. Has minus movement ghoul, but with blodge, step, diving tackle. And share, which Herring Zord and Full Metal can attest to. No, I don't think Full Metal was casting that, but I know Herring Zord for sure was. Made some miracle plays in the clinching game for the playoffs at the end of the season.
That is a really good player.
Yeah, in this matchup, it's going to be pretty useful.
It's going to be hard to bring him down.
Yep, and I don't think anyone's going to be getting... I think the Rebel... Olive Garden does not have enough money for a wizard. And certainly it does not have the TV. So we're not going to see wizards in this game likely. Unless the Undeady Bears choose to scum all their cash. Nope, they'd have to drop some players in order to do that. And I think they're looking to replace their whites. So probably a wizardless game. Yeah, Eric Clapton with guard block, Natalie Cook with block kick, Elton John, the Fowler, and a skeleton, Mick Jagger with nothing.
Now, the question becomes, do you consider, if you're the Olive Garden, dropping your 12th player?
I don't think so. I think you're in a pretty good spot. I mean, you're not really giving... The worst thing you're probably giving the Undeady Bears is a... Babe.
I mean, if you drop the lineman and use a goblin, then you can scum a wizard. I'm not sure if that's worth it, even if it is sort of your best bet at bringing down this plus strength.
And Iron Adept, I did notice you did send me the 50 bits. Thank you.
Assuming I am remembering TVs correctly, I am not. No, there is realistically no way... Yeah, there's no way, short of dropping an actual player.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good game, I think.
Oh yeah.
Most people would pick the orcs, and if you understand, like from an undead perspective, undead are very great at removals. The Mighty Blow is probably not gonna have a huge impact on this game. Does have the guard on the mummies and the guard on the zombie, though the Mighty Blow, maybe it'll be able to get some removals. Not entirely confident, but... And you do have Elton John with the fouls, so it's going to be a fairly close game, because they're both at very similar TV.
I imagine the diving tackle sidestep ghoul and the strength 4 bod sidestepper is they're just going to be nightmares. Especially if...
The tackle player goes off. Yeah, like if the tackle blitzer goes off for Olive Garden and Dare is able to get a hold of the ball, it'll be very difficult for the Olive Garden to get that ball free. I think that's enough talking about the teams. There's only one more game. I'm just going to do a quick preview for the game that's going to be coming up later. It's going to be Holes versus Kicks 96. What we were talking about earlier, the Boys in Blue versus Ace and Trucking Company. This is going to be happening in about 3.5 hours. And Holes is, of course, the ReBBL Miners win. Well, not winner, but they are the playoff contender for the ReBBL Miners. And
which was their highest player that wasn't already a
major
contestant.
Yes.
He has a very fast Orc Blitzer.
Yeah, plus movement and sure feet and blodge. I mean, this is just rolled double plus movement, and then he finally gets a normal. And like, okay, I'm just gonna keep him as a ball carrier. Fair enough. And his thrower has guard, so it's kind of like the roles are reversed in that respect.
Should be a interesting game.
Oh yes. Especially since if we look at the Chorf team, they have some good stuff and some weird stuff. You've got your Claw Palm Dwarf Blocker 8-Ball. Of course, going to be very useful in this upcoming game. You've got guard on almost every Chorf Blocker. Got no guard on the Claw Palmer, but I don't think that's a huge deal. Though, of course, you do have your Prehensile Tail Dwarf Blocker Quattro. Which, of course,
amusingly may actually be useful.
Yeah, if you could try to slot them into places where the orcs may want to dodge, and it would inhibit that, or force them to reroll potentially a dodge, make things less likely. Though, of course, if you know, in order to get Prehensile Tail on a Chorf Blocker, you need to roll a double, and in most cases, you would pick Claw, like 8-Ball has here. Well, let's look at the tail. Let's see if the tail actually shows. There we go.
It does, I believe.
It certainly looks really weird on a Chorf blocker.
It's the same as a Beastman's tail, I believe. It does look weird, though.
I don't know if... And you've got the claws on the Chorf blocker, which... They're way better than Skaven claws. Those things will look like they'll just tear through armor.
Holy crap.
They're the same as...
massive.
They're the same as Chaos. Which, of course, yeah, it makes sense. What they should have given Skaven is the crab claws. They should have just given him crab claws. Or at least, like, one crab claw. And then you're like, that's awesome. Because that's what the thumbnail has. And only player who has the crab claw is, of course, Glart Smashrip, which is the star player for Skaven.
So, I imagine there'll be a lot of positioning to avoid getting the Holz's Mighty Blow player hit by this claw bomber.
Yeah, and I imagine Ace Trucking Co. is going to either block or blitz with it whenever possible. So, it'd be an interesting game. And I'm going to cut the stream here. I want to thank everyone for watching and all the bits that I got. Full Metal, why are you tagging me? Let me see. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream here. Thank everyone for watching. Tune in. I'm probably not going to be doing the stream for the Boys in Blue and Ace Trucking Company, but hopefully someone else will pick that up. Just drop by the Discord.
Probably one of our Aussie people waking up.
Full Metal just says last comment. Okay, fair enough. Well, see ya later today. I might be watching in that game and in the chat, so